What is up? What is up? Welcome to Melanination Radio, Melanination Media. We happy to be back. It's been a long
and we back.
time. And as you can see, we changed up the format for y'all, so now you can see who you're talking to now. So if you don't know, if you can remember me from last time, it's Aziza.
It's your girl Johnny from that 317.
Young one, 5.
It's Hunter Sweat from not the Sweat Hotel, but a much less costing dorm room.
It's your girl CJ from the 214.
It's golden.
And I'm not reading. Okay, so this week we're going to talk about drugs in the black community, talking about different types of drugs, how it affects us and all that. We're going to jump in and really dive into that. But first, we're going to go to Nairi with the news.
Hello everyone, again I'm Nairi and I'll be giving you like the news recap of this previous week and this week. So the first topic of the day, you know, your favorite president-elect, Donald Trump, is going to be inaugurated Friday. Super exciting, no?
That's going to be a day.
Can I throw a brick at you?
That's gonna
Throw a
be
brick?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Who's performing?
The performances include Three Doors Down, The Rockettes, Toby Keith, Lee Greenwood, Jackie Evanko, actually Jennifer Holliday yesterday backed out of the inauguration due to the backlash she received from her fans.
So are they all white? Because I don't know.
Yeah, basically.
Right.
It's a white, you know, it's a white affair.
Isn't
Oh, white
Tyler
affair?
Band performing too?
Who?
Tyler Band.
Yes,
Ooh.
special, you know, armed forces and the Talladega Band are going to be performing this film.
Isn't that HBCU?
Yes, it is an HBCU.
Oh, how y'all feel about that? Is that something to clap for, or is it
Yes,
not?
because in turn, Donald Trump might want to do something for it. It might not be for the whole HBC community, but at least for that school. You never know. But we shouldn't allow this man opinions or anything to give us chance to have representation. You know what I'm saying? Because by everybody just saying we don't want anything to do with Donald Trump, then how's the black community going to have any type of progress or have contact and express our views if we're just like not even giving him a try to do anything? You know?
Yeah, I think it's great that they're actually giving him this opportunity and that he's actually giving them the opportunity, because it shows that somebody's trying to reach out to somebody. And if they don't respect the man, they at least respect the position. They show that they're going to be big enough, you know, somebody's big enough to actually go and do something like this and reach out.
Do you think that was really his thing to do? Like, I feel like that might be like his PR team thing.
Like,
To say, like, no, let's get some black people and make him look. Because they've been trying to make him look good or look better the whole time he's been running, because he's been doing nothing but just.
It's not even that. It's like we all know what Donald Trump stands for. And some things he says, misogynistic things, racist things, and it's like, as an HBCU, you know he's not really for you, or he's not for the principles of. Yeah, he's using.
Yeah, you it's kind of cooning a little bit.
Yeah,
Like, no shade. I mean, get it how you live, you know, but.
Like a parent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about?
They're basically like Talladega, like yeah, they're the black, like the black
token
face.
black.
The token black.
That's
people.
it, yeah.
Exactly. All right, so next up on the list we got Diddy went on an Instagram live rant, basically saying that hip hop is dead, and we basically need to stop all the cooning and buffooning because we're making a joke about it.
Right.
Yeah, we're making a joke about it.
I don't think hip hop's dead. Like, we in the golden age, to be honest, because of the No, just think about it. We have so much music, like, we have so much more music now than we ever had. Just because it's not promoted, that falls on the people. People are going to put out there what they want to hear. If nobody want to listen to something, then that won't be popping. But,
You're saying because there are more rappers out there now, like underground and stuff?
yeah, it's a lot more.
I mean, it could be a lot of rappers. That's not hip hop.
So what I'm saying, I agree with you. There is more, but that doesn't mean it's better. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like the '90s were probably closer to like.
So what's the definition? The question is, what's the definition of dead? That means that nobody's doing it or nobody's putting out any quality work.
See,
But quality work is getting out. Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole.
No,
I feel like when people say hip hop is dead, they mean the culture or surrounding hip hop is dead.
What is the music being
Right.
put out?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's of course, like, we don't really have B-boys and stuff anymore. People aren't.
Break dancing.
Yeah.
Kango hats.
It's not the same, but I mean, rap to me, rap isn't dead, if that's what he's trying to say.
That's definitely one of those things that depends on your perspective, because if two people say that it's dead and two other people say that it's not dead, I mean, is it actually dead or is it not dead?
I don't
It's
think
definitely
it's
just
dead.
perspective.
I think he should have used it's transformed. It's not the same as it was, when he was
Yeah,
popular.
well, you could argue it's the nostalgia effect, like,
Yeah.
that was his time and his prime, that's when he lived most of his moments, like.
So you think that hip hop is dead because he has a favorite?
I mean,
Okay, time out. Now, what we're not going to do is come for Nas with hip hop. I mean, now it's a difference between hip hop and rap. There's a difference, it's a difference between hip hop and trap. I think we could charge this to a generational, We hear y'all calling. Hold on. We ain't answering yet. We gonna answer y'all for the discussion.
We'll answer you soon.
We gonna answer.
They go here,
But
Oh God.
I know who it is too. What's up, Havoc? I see you calling, bro. We love you, man. Havoc in the house. Smash Bizak. He an old head.
We're not taking calls just yet. If
Hold
you
on.
could please wait.
Okay.
We will tell you when you can call us.
Jesus.
Alright, just call back at 1 more second.
Whatever.
Was his response due to the Chris Brown?
yeah.
Okay, so my thing is that maybe what he's saying is that back in the day, rap beef was actually, real problems. This is something that came about because of a comment under a female's picture. So there should be no beef about that. So maybe that's what he's saying about, the culture and the way problems were handled back then and why rappers did not get along in the industry.
Yeah. I agree. But there is a certain level of cleaning that must stop. Like, it's embarrassing. This is being broadcasted on national, international news. So,
And then they got Floyd Mayweather.
yeah, everybody being involved.
And then Mike Tyson.
Talking about they can do it for a charity. Come on.
Yeah.
All right.
What else? Finally, we have, like I said, Jennifer Holliday backed out of the inauguration, the backlash, and actually Steve Harvey visited Donald Trump earlier.
Survey says.
Oh,
Wait a minute. Maybe he's doing what he did at the Miss Universe pageant or whatever. He's saying we read the results wrong. Trump didn't actually win.
That'd be great.
Let him show up to that inauguration.
Yeah. But next.
We had 100 people who gonna die. So what it says.
Trump, and okay. So that's it for the news, you guys. Great.
Oh, we didn't have no special guests on campus today?
Yeah, of course. The wonderful Roland Martin visited Tuskegee University for the first Light Skin Series event of the year, and later on we will be sharing some clips from the show. So, on to the music, you guys. We're featuring Tuskegee artist, our very own Tia Ray.
Tia Ray. Shout out.
Yeah, we'll be back.
Serving it up like going in for tea.
I need some racks in this motherfucker. Thinking about flipping the pack in this motherfucker. My bust at your back in this motherfucker. I'm free to gas 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 in this motherfucker. I'm free to gas. Rapping is so unattractive, but bitch in the shit like a laxative. This is that female that trap shit. This is that female that trap shit. Ay, I need that bread like a toaster. You need to buy you a closure. Mad cause you lacking exposure. I took your bitch and exposed. Please don't forget that I'm lyrical. Whipping the whips is a miracle, miracle, miracle. Nigga, you should know the dealio. I put a hole in your head like a Cheerio, Cheerio. Ooh. Ay, T.O. fool with the tools. Bitch, and I step on my shoes. Oh, we gon' meet up after school. I need some rats in this motherfucker. Thinking about flipping the pack in this motherfucker. Might bust at your back in this motherfucker. I'm free to gas 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 in this motherfucker. I'm free to gas. Rapping is so unattractive, but bitch in the shit like a laxative. This is that female that trap shit. This is that female that trap shit. Had your friend follow me on Snapchat. Had your girl follow me on It's my competition, nigga, I don't see none, see none. You ain't never had a little pee gun. Have a sip, bitch, I just begun. Nah, I wanna, I need some rest in this motherfucker. Thinking about flipping the back in this motherfucker. Might bust at your back in this motherfucker. I'm pretty gas 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 in this motherfucker. I'm pretty gas. Rapping is so unattractive. Rapping is so unattractive. I'm pretty gas. I'm pretty gas.
And I ain't gonna lie, this shit really had hurted me. I'm talking about it sucked me, duck in and everything. But see, once you just let that hurt suck in, and then your heart just get, your heart repair itself, and you know that hurt don't hurt no more. Bitch, look out, bitch, I'm a new creep.
Yo. Moment of honesty. Can we be honest, please? I know you don't wanna leave, but this is no good for me. I'm trying to stick around, I don't wanna let you down, but shit is just different now. I look at you different now. You used to be the only reason that I used to wake up in the morning. The only peace to my soul when it was storming. You read my mind, it's like you knew my heart. But it's crazy how life seemed to tear us apart. I know you blamed a lot of things on the way you was raised. Daddy away, mama working minimum wage. Played and betrayed, this love shit you ain't view it the same. But you said what we had was what kept you sane. Couldn't stand to be another just to walk at your life. But tell me what I'm supposed to do if you ain't treating me right. You used to pick a lot of fights cause your trust didn't work. But yo, I told you that I got you, why my word ain't enough? You had to check my phone, search my mail. Who that girl? That's Chantel. Who Chantel? Damn, met at school, that's my friend. Well, call her up and put me on the air. Slightly aggressive, you was kinda obsessive. You called it love, but I called it possessive. Not your possession, you was kinda excessive. Lack of progression, call it regressive. The one worth your tears won't have you crying. My friend said maybe it's him who telling lies and him who creeping, him who sneaking. So check his phone and gonna check his DMs. Swallow my pride, I put me to the side. And all along it was you the whole time. Almost did time, would've been down for the ride. Through any weather, we was Bonnie and Clyde. Go out my way, break my neck. I gave my heart, split my checks. Went without just to make sure you got it. You took it all and I ain't even make profit. Apologies, they never heal no wounds. Wanna forgive you, but that's harder to do. So do your thing, baby, I'ma do mine. The way you cut me on the shop and the grind is sharpen my mind. It seems like I get better with time. If I can rewind and go back to the day that I met you, I wouldn't have met you, forget you. Bitch, I'm on a combo, bitch, I'm a monster. I ride the beat like a drummer, whipping the Honda, but one day I'ma whip in the Hummer. Cause bitch, I'm a stunner, you gave me a reason to stunt. This shit turned me to a savage. So ain't no time to live average. This shit turned me to a savage. So ain't no time to live average.
I'm going to shit on you. I'm gonna make you love me. I'm gonna make you miss me. I'm gonna make you hate me. I'm gonna do it all. Bitch, ain't nothing happening. Ain't nothing happening. Can't what the cool
Alright. So we're back about to hop into this discussion. So what we're talking about is drugs in the black community. I guess we could start with some conspiracy theories that people have had about drugs being placed in the black community by government officials or by actually being placed into the black community by the president. I'm hearing you talking about.
I want to know more about the conspiracy theories. That's because I don't know much, but that's the what the popular belief is that we didn't have access, so they did it to us.
Well, I have one. During that same presidency, there was talk about the CIA introducing some of these drugs into the black community. One of them being cocaine in the Los Angeles area. Using this money, these millions of dollars that they're making off this cocaine, and the drug dealers would give it to the CIA to fund their armies in Nicaragua, which were called the I actually kind of believe that because a lot of times these special programs that they don't tend to be actually government backed by the people that usually back all of our wars, and most people won't actually give money if they know that they're doing stuff like this. So sometimes they have to go through the back doors, and it's not right. Definitely, it's not right because look at where we are now. It's still an issue in our community, but honestly, I do believe that this could quite possibly be true.
I think it's that'll be true. Like if you really look at it, it's like, all right, most of the coke comes from Central America and all that. I'm not exactly. I'm pretty sure most of it. Let me say that, but no, but it's like you have that. It's like out of nowhere you got this influx of cocaine and crack into the black community. It's like, well, we don't have miles of crops full of cocoa leaves and all that. Yeah, and the guns too, like AK-47, that's a Russian-made rifle. How are we getting Russian-made rifles in the hood out of nowhere? Like
Straight off the boat.
And I don't think a lot of people know this, but one of Nixon's aides in Watergate literally admitted in 1994 that the reason that the Nixon administration started the war on drugs was because they wanted to eliminate and disrupt their political enemies. And who were their political enemies? The Black Panther Party, liberals. So I think for the simple fact that the war on drugs still exists, and we have information that tells us the reason, like it's right in front of your face.
Well, yeah, before we go any further, I want to remind you guys that you can call us at 334-569-9728 for any questions or comments that you have during the show.
334-56. Wake your punk ass up.
Okay.
I created that on purpose. I am proud of that. Okay.
Back to the crack
Crack tails.
So we talked about how they brought crack and cocaine into the community and stuff, and how that's obviously harmful to us. So do you all think that weed is also harmful to us?
Weed has never killed anybody, so I can't say it's harmful. I think incarceration, caused by weed is just BS. And I think that's harming our society because, it's more of us being incarcerated than it is us, getting jobs, getting degrees, living, living good society. You know what I'm saying? I think it's more harmful. The consequences of smoking weed.
Yeah, it's not nothing to do with weed.
Yeah, exactly.
So basically, I guess just like maybe any other drug, if we were to make it legal, then it'd probably be okay.
Yeah. And my question, the logical question is like, when they do make it legal and the government starts selling, well, they already are selling, start selling this stuff, how are they going to treat the people that were put in jail for weed?
Like,
you know what I mean? Like,
you need
reverse
mass
what?
marketing.
They need to be released.
And
But also,
reparations.
Right.
I don't think that government legalized weed will be okay because then as soon as we get legalized, we're not going to try to find a problem with weed or say this is happening or that's happening with marijuana. But it's probably them doing stuff, to cause other reactions to occur. But I feel like it needs to be a private industry. It doesn't need to be, the government shouldn't meddle with it.
Well, you remember at one point in time they prohibited alcohol and
Make
they
the 1920s
alcohol.
with the prohibition era. Yeah. And look who profited off of it. White people. That's what's gonna happen. They're gonna make it legal, then they're gonna find a way to profit off of it.
They're going to make it legal and make it addictive.
Yeah.
Add some stuff to it. Like, it's becoming government weed.
Well, I was just thinking that's the thing about the market right now. A lot of places where it's legalized, there is no regulation necessarily where they're like, okay, we gotta test this, make sure it's pure. Because I think it was last week or so, an article came out where they're talking about in Colorado, people have been getting this illness. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but it's an illness where it causes dizziness, people get sick, they throw up and stuff, and it's fixed by taking a shower. And it's associated with the heavy metal levels in cannabis. And that's why a lot of times when they increase the heavy metal levels in the soil and stuff, it increases the THC in cannabis. So that's why when there is no regulation, there is nobody to check it, people want to have the strongest product out there to get the most buyers.
You feel like that's because it's just now happening or it's just becoming legal? That's why they have it? Yeah.
what bothers me the most about marijuana is the systemic racism that involves it. Because black people are 4 times likely to be arrested for drugs than white people, even though they both use them at the same rate. And that just confuses me because why are we demonized for marijuana and white people aren't? Because Tommy in rural Nebraska, he don't get his weed from Dante down the street. He get his weed from Billy next door. Right. So it's like, why are we demonized and white people use the drug just as much as us?
I mean, most of them probably do get it from this.
It's the system. You know what I'm saying? Because
Wait,
What
pause.
did you
Like, Nebraska, Tommy gets weed from us.
I mean, there are some people that I know who are people of, you know, the white race who come to black people trying to get it.
so that's everybody that's a generalization.
That is my fault. That is my fault.
Basically, drugs are sold in hood, suburbs, and even on farms, but black people, they're the only ones. And that's basically due to the fact that black people are viewed through a magnifying glass, while white people are viewed through
Well, that's also mass incarceration.
Yeah.
Because when black people are caught with drugs, and the same amount of drugs, they end up serving way more time than white peers. And they can have the same amount. You know what I'm saying? Because in the Constitution, it's legal to have slavery by form of punishment if you're incarcerated. You know what I'm saying? And now America has become a place where the prison industry is making millions of dollars. You know what I'm saying? And so now it's like, okay, you can target people for this. You know what I'm saying? So everybody smokes weed nowadays.
So
And
what
you
if,
I'm just saying, you can target black people for it. And so it's not about, demonizing us. It's about them wanting America to be, you know what I'm saying, great again. Make it how it was. So the more black folks we lock up, the more people we get to put into slavery. How much they make for working for these corporate companies, you know what I'm saying, by slaving these.
So if they're locking up a lot of our brothers and sisters on the daily for small drug charges such as just marijuana, what happens when they legalize marijuana for recreational purposes everywhere? What other small thing are they going to start putting us behind bars for? Because they're not just going to stop. We're a high-priced commodity here. People want us, and not for what we can give, but what we can actually do.
Are we playing the victim card here? Like,
Mm.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, you didn't have to give us the joint, you didn't have to start smoking, We didn't have to do the things that we, why are drugs in our community in the first place? Why are drugs in our community in the first place? If you grew up with that, if it came, the heavy crack epidemic was in the 80s, I mean, if you doing it, and then your parents are doing it, and your dad locked up for having some of this and that, and you were doing it, like, I mean, what else do you know?
But
You probably just don't smoke.
I can't say one thing about that because you was just talking about the cycle, and I feel like because with rap culture today, a lot of people rap about a parent being on drugs or a parent being incarcerated for selling drugs or dying for selling drugs and stuff like that. And so it's like, when do we decide that we're going to break the cycle? When do we decide that this is not okay? But instead, it's being more glorified nowadays. People like having, El Chapo or, Escobar, like names like that in their bios. And it's like, this is something that hurts us. This is something that destroys the black family and continues to tear us apart. And we keep glorifying it, thinking it's okay. And I think that, back in the day, selling drugs was so much different than selling drugs now. And I feel like it's more of a materialism aspect. You know what I'm saying? More of a looking cool aspect than it's something for a necessity to survive.
Hold on. When did it become cool, though?
Okay,
I
don't
don't
think
think it's just to be cool.
Most people would, yeah.
But
I want to say just the 90s.
I was watching a documentary about the war on drugs and how they marketed it. And they actually tried to market it starting in elementary school, actually. And they told the kids that this is basically the end thing and this is what y'all should do. So it started in the elementary school. And kids, they don't know any better. They're going to want to do what's in.
Well, what did you say? You said, you think people are just selling to be cool. But I mean, I don't agree. I mean, no.
No,
People
But
doing it.
I
People
feel
doing
like,
it to survive.
Nobody.
Okay,
That's
it's
why
a
that's all they
necessity.
know.
But at the end of the day, not everybody today that's selling drugs have to do it as a need to survive. And that's just my opinion, because if you needed to survive, what do you need to survive? What are the basic necessities? But how many drug dealers you see flexing bankrolls, you know what I'm saying, got the latest designers that we can't afford. So is it really a
So they only
necessity?
supposed to sell a little bit of a few drugs.
No, I'm not
And
saying.
just
I
have
mean,
enough to
it's
survive.
it's
But I
a
mean,
way.
if you have a market, if there's a market for it, I mean, not saying it's right, but if it's a market for it, you
Hold
sell
on,
it.
wait,
But
wait,
it's the same. But that's
I
the
wanna-
thing.
I wanna
You
touch-
were hurt because you
Yeah.
had to be out on the block at 9 years old
So
and
I'm
never
saying-
raised yourself.
I wanna
But
touch on
by
what
you
you're
doing
saying.
that, you're making another little kid go
That's
through the
what I'm
same thing,
saying.
and that's the
It's
cycle.
being-
That's what I'm saying.
it's
When
being
do we
glorified.
decide to say this is not cool?
by rappers,
It's not okay.
by your
You know what I'm
television
saying? And that's my
shows.
and it's a great
They just
entrepreneur
pick a fight.
mindset. It's a great way to
Oh,
be
yeah,
your
I'm
own
saying
buyer.
it's right, but I'm just saying it's a perspective. It's a real life perspective. Like, not everybody has the option to just go out, and if somebody was locked up for another offense or something, they come out and it's hard trying to find a job, and they could just be on the street and sell weed and get more money than you could ever get. We can talk about how low minimum wage is and how minimum wage really hasn't risen that much based off the cost of living and how much the cost of living is going up. You telling me I'm supposed to sit here and be a law-abiding citizen and work my ass off and still won't be able to pay my bills, but I can go outside and sell some weed and have all of this?
The
But I'm not
illusion
talking about
of the
weed.
American dream.
Right.
I'm not
The
talking
illusion
about
of
we don't necessarily hurt families. I'm talking about actually hard drugs, like crack. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying. You know,
That
it's,
shit evil.
it's being glorified. And what I'm saying is that yeah, it may be a necessity for somebody, but if it's a necessity, you do not have to spend all your money and materialistic things, which is what you see all over the internet.
Yeah.
You can invest in business. You know what I'm saying? You can start your own stuff and you can make your money clean. What I'm saying is it's a great entrepreneur mindset, but then it turns into something where it's glorified. This is the lifestyle you should live. You should want to get like me. And all you're doing is making another child who had to get out on that corner at your age do it again. So it's a cycle that's been repeated since it's been in our community. And that's what I'm saying. When are we going to decide that it's enough?
Answer that question. Everybody answer that
Call
question
us.
using the hashtag WYPAU. Wake your punk ass up. Also, you're using the hashtag in media. Make sure you're asking
And call in
questions
again,
and
334
Yeah.
56 wake your punk ass up, or 569-9728.
I just want to say that whole victim card comment. That's just a general thing that the other races would like to throw out there. I just wanted to throw that out there. It's not necessarily something I believe in. I do believe that. I'm just saying. I have to say that. I'm just saying, but like I feel like drug dealing has become glorified over the times. That is definitely true, and I feel like
Okay. I sent the caller voicemail. Goodbye.
Aw, we heard you 256-5896. Call us back, man. We had a call us back, man.
Hold on.
They don't want to hear your opinion. They trying to block you, bro. We gonna let you get through.
They don't want you to have
They don't want you to be
Okay.
great.
But no, what I was saying, like, yeah, it's definitely being glorified. And I mean, if you see, it's an easy way to make cash, right? Everybody trying to make money at the end of the day, especially if you have other options that don't make as much. Wouldn't you sell that? You know what I'm saying? Especially if you were in these situations, like if you were in these neighborhoods, if you were in these project areas,
Yeah,
look little to look for.
I'm not saying that everybody has a story that's like everybody, but I mean, at one point in my life, I thought about doing it because all my friends did it, and I definitely did not have a need to sell drugs. I did not have to sell weed or sell crack or sell cocaine to keep a shirt on my back and food in my mouth and the mouth of my family. But I thought, all my friends are doing it, man, it's cool. And I most definitely can say that there are a lot of people out there just like me that have that same exact mindset, and they're just following a trend that's been set and it needs to be broken.
Yeah, but how do you do that? Like, that's my thought.
Who determines when you have to sell drugs and when you don't have to sell drugs? Like when your life is so hard that this is what you have to do. And then what is the difference between you selling drugs on the corner and the pharmaceutical company selling
I
drugs?
was just about to say that. What about prescription drugs?
Except one is legal and one is illegal. One's dominated by another race. You know what I'm saying? Like we can't get into that. without us being prosecuted and locked up.
I think prescription drugs are just as harsh as crack.
Oh yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah, they worse because anybody can really get prescription drugs. I mean, to me, alcohol is a prescription drug. You just gotta be 21 about it. It's a drug and it has worse effects than marijuana has. Like, you can overdose on alcohol, you can't overdose on weed. But it's who owns the industry and the market. Like, they don't want to legalize weed because they're also the hemp industry and the uses of hemp.
What's going on, Jody? What's happening? You got an opinion?
Yeah, man. I feel like drugs is closely tied with gangs and just the hood or the ghetto, whatever you want to call it. You feel me? I feel like drugs is, people sell drugs because, especially as a youth, because it allows you to earn money at an age where you may not be able to have the flexibility to get a part-time job or whatnot. I feel like people get into using drugs not only to deal with the depressing things that happen in
Call from
Oh,
all your friends.
the address caller to your current call.
we got a three-way.
Okay, check your check your phrasing.
Keep going, Jody. We hear you.
Let's not call it that.
Oh, word, but yeah, man, it's just a lot of depressive stuff happens, and drug use helps you cope with that, especially if you living in a place where it's nothing but negativity, or it seems like it's nothing but negativity. And if you grow up around gangs or people in that lifestyle, it's an easy route because not everybody has the opportunity to afford college. So if I'm stuck in the hood for the rest of my life, why would I? You know, I don't want to work at McDonald's for the rest of my life. You know, I want to flash out and I want to live too.
Yeah.
Money.
Yeah, that's real. All right, bro. Thanks for calling, man. That's Jody from Chi-Town. That's my son, y'all. I love some Jody, y'all.
But no, he made a good point, especially, you know, we turn to drugs. Why do we use drugs? They're used as a coping mechanism. Going back to the crack epidemic, why did we pick up that crack pipe? Look where we were living. Like,
Right,
look
we've
at the
been oppressed for
situation.
so long.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
That was an outlet.
Yeah. What we gonna put out? It's been
what's your point?
It's been what, 30 years? 30 plus years?
Same situation. So what that tell you though? I mean, I feel like we need more black people. And it don't have to be nobody. It could be us. You know what I'm saying? Anybody who decides that they want to change in their community, they can step up and make that change. You know what I'm saying? We can't leave it up to politicians or celebrities to fight the battles that we see in our neighborhoods. You know what I'm saying? So as us being students at this illustrious institution,
Right.
what are we going to use our talents and our education that we learn here to give back to our people and break the cycle?
Also, I don't think anybody touched.
You have a call. We got another call.
Hello, we got a caller. Who is this? Where you from?
Hey, my name is Huntsville. That's where all my family is. So up there, it's a lot of people do drugs. Okay, like now we're in an age where drug using is more and more popular. So you know that's an easy way to make money, right?
Right.
And people glorify that get rich quick stuff, right? Everybody wants everything right now. And so it's like, and it also comes into more like power. It's like territory, like where you from. So like wherever you from, you kind of gotta blend in with that environment of those people. So say for instance, you come from the hood where like all there is drug dealers and gangbangers, then that's where you fit in. You kinda
That's
don't
survival
have a choice unless
too.
you decide to branch out.
Yeah, survival in a sense. Thanks for calling, girl. That was deep. Damn, how y'all feel about that one?
That was a very good
Yeah, I
point.
agree. I totally understand.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like when you say drug dealing, you say you power. It equates to power. It equates to money. So I thought that was understood. But I do think exactly. I mean, I understand what you're
Everybody wants power.
saying. Yeah.
Right, 'cause I thought even if they could have a job where they made that much money, I mean, would you though? 'Cause like you said, be your own boss. Like, if you're gonna make it so much, if you really selling drugs, you gotta be doing it. Crazy. So like some real hard work. It's not gonna be as easy as just, I don't know how easy drugs is, but it's easy to pass some drugs over the table.
But you have to be willing to accept drug dealers that I think are one of the smartest people on earth. You know what I'm saying? It's too much that comes into drug dealing for somebody just to wake up and say they're gonna do it without getting caught. You know what I'm saying? It takes a lot of math skills, you know, survival skills. You know, you have to be smart. Business. So it's like after you get in, why can't you get out? You know what I'm saying? There's plenty of opportunities to start your own business to make your money. And that's just my opinion. Like,
It's not easy to get out though.
Yeah,
So,
well,
but
no, you gotta remember too, like sometimes getting out or trying to get out is what's trying to get you done. Because like if you go to the bank and you're like, all right, I got a duffel bag full of hundreds and shit, and I'm trying to take out this loan, or you know, I'm trying to open up this business, or you know, you try to go to the bank and get a loan, you don't have the credit for it, and you just have all this dirty money sitting on you. They're gonna ask when you know try to push in $20,000 or whatever. Hey, where does money come from?
but you don't do that. That's not smart.
But how you gonna get out? With all the money you have?
You can have a cover-up job. You can start small, put a few little dollars here, but don't put all your money in it. That is
I'm not saying at the same time.
But and you can invest in people. And so if you know somebody that is trying to start a business, you know what I'm saying, or you can just be like, okay, I'll give you half for the start.
But it's like when you do taxes, they gonna ask for that money.
That's why a lot of smart people that are in these big drug corporations, what they do is they'll find a place, maybe a small cleaners or something like that, and then begin to show like a false business. And it's clean on your taxes. And that's how a lot of them are cleaning their own money. Well, honestly.
It's tax evasion.
Also, another conspiracy theory. Nixon declared war on drugs in 1971, right? Nixon, he declared war on drugs in 1971, right? Well, if you go back and research that year, drug crime was actually declining, not rising. So if it didn't hit its peak until after Nixon declared it didn't hit its peak until after he declared war on drugs. So that's another.
Well, but I mean, yeah, because that could also be like a cause and effect thing. Because when they declared it war on drugs, if they started passing. But no, it's like they start passing laws and harassing people, trying to crack down. Then of course, kind of like you pass laws and you bring down like okay, if you have like 2 G's on you, that's a felony. And then they say, oh no, we crack it down. If you have anything on you at all, then that's just increasing the number of people no matter how much they have. And that's boosting the stats and boosting the stats.
It just shows you that they didn't talk about drugs. They cleared it. No, I think it was more war on black people.
Say that again.
Was drugs. It's another way of trying to get rid of it.
All right, well, right now we're gonna take a little break and show you some. You're gonna listen to some clips of Roland Martin today. He was our licensed series speaker, so we got a few clips for you and hope you enjoy it.
That speech, he said, quoting Reverend Jackson, we must redistribute the pain. Of course, America's not going to play that speech because that speech is challenging the very economic system in America that he was fighting against. And we have fallen for the okey-doke by having, again, our Negro check-off events, by having all of our children recite I Have a Dream, but we have not had them actually recite what was said on April 3rd, 1968. We do not have our kids reciting April 4th, 1967 at Riverside Church when we were talking about the military-industrial complex, talking about the war on poverty, talking about economics. No, because, again, we have played ourselves in letting them dictate what he said and felt about us. Of course, say, no, yeah, that ain't the king y'all present to me. It's a whole other king y'all want us to deal with. If you go back and read, there's no black person who should not have their own copy of Where We Go From Here, Chaos Over Here. Because he said in that very book, and all you also got to go to is he gave a speech August 1967, the 11th annual convention of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference. It was a 1 hour and 10-minute speech where he was titled Where We Go From Here, and he talked about how they executed is reciting what he called for character, this very frankly American mascot that we now use.
Right here?
Yes.
My name is Gerald Young. I'm a sophomore. Gerald.
Gerald.
Yes, sir. I'm a sophomore psychology major. I'm a radio personality with Melanination Media. Tonight our topic is about drugs in the black community, and I was hoping that you could kind of give us a little background information and also kind of segue into how we can move forward in that problem, because that is an issue I want to talk about.
The question was how do you deal with the issue of drugs in the community. You need to go look at the documentary called The House We Live In. It's produced by John Legend, also by Danny Love. Directly, absolutely directed that. He laid out the history of the war on drugs. The history of the war on drugs in America has always been about white economic needs. The first war on drugs was against the Chinese when it came to the use of opium and heroin. And they attacked them because they were building the railroads that happened. Then the second wave happened in the 1930s and 40s. African Americans were attacked. And the third wave came in the 1970s. If you go back and actually look at it, Nixon's original focus on drugs in America actually was about treatment. When he ran for re-election in 72, it became a potent force by making it a military deal by saying we're going to have a war on drugs. It became a war on black people. So that's what we saw. Now, what's amazing is we now have seen 30, 40 years of black folks going to jail for weed. And now you got white folks about to become billionaires for weed.
Yeah.
So if you want to actually flip this script, the discussion we should be having, where are our black entrepreneurs who can get paid selling weed in Colorado, Washington State, Washington D.C., any place where weed is legal? I'm just having a business conversation. It's an entrepreneurial thing.
Yes, sir.
We also must make demands right now in their same system where folks are not demanding treatment for folks who are addicted to painkillers. We still have folks locked up in jail who ended up robbed. See, we have people to call American alcohol is BS. I watched those town halls in Rhode Island and Vermont, and I saw Chris Christie crying, talking about one of his longtime friends who died of a drug overdose in jail. Was saying the same thing. And I was like, where was all of this Republican compassion for folks who became to crack? And so, yes, drugs are a fundamental problem in our communities. When you begin to talk about how it is destroying our communities, but what we have to do is be willing to, again, so take advantage of the moment. And we must be willing to go to those very same white folks who got dead painkillers and then challenge them and say, okay, you want. This is where black organizations come in. Y'all want our support on this. We're going to need y'all to show that our stuff too. Okay, in Omaha, Nebraska, was a pastor there who was against abortion. And then white pro-life evangelicals came to him and said, hey, we would like for you to march in this pro-life march. He said, okay, cool. I also want y'all to come with me. Take down this crack house. They literally said, no, that's y'all. They saw pro-life as their issue. He said, wait a minute, but if they're dying inside of crack houses, don't those lives matter too? And so that's what our challenge has to come. We must confront, look, you got 4 days left of President Obama being in office. Every black person should be blowing up this email and online saying, you should be commuting 500 people a day while you were there. I have no confidence that Donald Trump won't tell you one sentence unless you're a billionaire. And so again, we must also recognize that some state governors have a power of confrontation. We must be willing to challenge political folks on that as well. And so that whole issue of criminal justice and drugs is an important one because that is literally robbing us. Because once you go in, there's a whole different ballgame. You mean the laws are there. You can't get financial aid if you've been in prison. You can't live in public housing. That's right. You got banned box they want to implement. And so the moment you go into that system, you literally are guaranteeing yourself a
So we must, that's one of those fights I'm talking about. We must be willing to challenge folks now. All right? Thanks so much.
Okay, welcome back. Welcome back. Second half of the combo. Did you all get to hear anything that Roland Martin said?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he was talking about basically how when you do get incarcerated for weed or for whatever, when you come out, you can't get financial aid, you can't get public housing, you can't go to school, you can't live anywhere. So, yeah, so.
Everything else is strict. No longer.
That happens.
You treat it like a citizen,
Sounds familiar.
Exactly.
But I kind of want to touch on the drug use by demographic. Huffington Post in 2013 released an article called "When It Comes to Legal Drug Use, White America Does the Crime, Black America Gets the Time." Yeah, and basically, he was saying, we got a call.
Hello, caller. How you doing?
Hey there, caller. Who is this?
Are you there?
Caller.
Don't be shy.
What, when I have one bar, she
Caller.
Well,
Hello. Okay, we hear you now. Go ahead.
I'm on the air.
Oh yeah.
What's your name? Where you from?
It's your boy Jay Havoc. What's happening? Hey. I'm just trying to see what the conversation is. I'm a little late tuning in.
We talking about drugs in the black community. How you feel?
Man.
I'm gonna let y'all do y'all thing. I'm gonna fade out to the background.
Right, no, boy. You better call. You better listen in on YouTube, boy. You better. We talking about drugs though in the black community. How you feel about that?
Drugs in the black community? Oh man, where do I start?
You got time.
Well, think about it and call us back, brother. How about that? Love you, man.
What's happening?
Bye.
Another call.
People just be wanting to hear themselves. Go ahead.
No, but with that, with the Huffington Post article, it starts off saying white Americans are more likely than black Americans to have used most kinds of illegal drugs, including cocaine, marijuana, and LSD. Not to mention alcohol abuse. Some statistics: alcohol abuse amount costs are equal to 224 billion annually. And 22.7 million Americans need treatment for substance use. 41% of that is accounted for alcohol abuse. And it continues by saying, yet blacks are far more likely to go to prison for drug offenses. Then they continue saying nearly 20% of whites have used cocaine compared to 10% of blacks and Latinos. And also higher percentages of whites have also tried halogens, marijuana, pain relievers, like oxycodone, and stimulants like methamphetamine, according to the 2011 survey. So, but they do say crack is more popular with blacks than whites, but it's not by much. So
do we feel like black people are getting more into those type of drugs, like LSD?
Yeah.
I've been hearing more about it than I have in the past.
Like, you just look at the media and stuff, especially music, like A$AP Rocky just dropped a song a couple years ago called LSD, and Chance Acid Rap, Black Bridge Zombies, 3001 The Waste Odyssey.
Yeah. All right with the music.
I don't know, he lost me.
Right.
I mean, I think we're experimenting.
I mean,
to be honest, when you bring that up, it might turn into another crack epidemic where these new drugs are slowly flowing into our black communities, which could be problematic.
I had a friend that was telling me about how, heroin, cough syrup is basically heroin. You know what I'm saying? And now we got kids, pulling up lean and stuff, thinking like it's just purple, purple, but it's really, that's what Pimp C died on, you know what I'm saying? That's not something to play with, and you got kids, you know what I'm saying? Exactly.
Several times.
And it makes you look like you on something too.
Right.
Strong message.
Thanks for the tea.
Real simple.
Never had it.
That's right. Fall asleep one time. That's it.
So we got any more callers? You have anything you want to say?
Oh,
yeah.
Hashtag. Make sure to text us. You can also text us the same number.
Call. We do it all.
334-569-9728. Text us your name, where you from, how you feeling about these drugs in the black community, and what's being talked about.
Let us know.
Uh-oh. We got a text? We got a text. Read it. Can we get a readout?
We got a text.
I got it.
I am from. Go for it. No, you got it. Go for it.
It said, hi, quick question. I'm from the LA area and I see the drug trade all the time. We as a people don't do well in terms of second chances and getting jobs. So this seems like our major source of income as a people. How will we change our income in our communities and stop the rate at which we sell drugs? Is there like an alternative?
Well, I think that one of the things.
Well, first off, thanks for texting in, caller. We texter. I appreciate you.
Appreciate you. Nah, you important. Nah.
Who calls
me?
anymore?
Don't say that.
That's real.
Texting is convenient. You just
We appreciate the time you took to text us. But I think that one of the things we need to do is really, this is one of the things where we do need to look at the system, expunging it, you know, and the more black people that stand up for rights, because after you do your time, I feel like if it's not a violent offense, then it should not follow you everywhere you go. And so, but that's the problem with American justice system is we do not have a prison system that is used to rehabilitate people. You know, some prison systems actually use that time where it's not like necessarily they're in prison. They're really, you know, bettering themselves. It is like these are caged animals. That's how they treat them. And so I think that that's something that you have to face with the system. But if more people really realize that people who have faced time do deserve second chances, and more people really fight for felons' rights to be able to get jobs and be able to vote and apply for public assistance and stuff again. But I think that don't give up hope. There's always someone out there to help. You can look up centers online, you know, even if it's just a social justice center, you know, a law center that maybe can help you, not necessarily you, or people who go through that situation, get back in the work field and what jobs hire felons, because there are jobs out there that do hire felons, and there are some states that give felon grants and stuff to go back to school. So always look into those opportunities. If you don't want to work for somebody else, you can always go back to school.
But what I feel like is the main thing is that in the black community we need more black businesses.
That's what I was gonna
Because
say.
that would solve a lot of problems. That would solve the problem of having to sell drugs in the first place. If you do sell drugs, once you get locked up, you know you could come out and we understand, we in this community, we know that you're not a bad person to do so. You're not a murderer, you're not, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? So that's what really where it stems from. We need to be able to provide our own jobs for each other and not have to always reach out and hope that they change their mind. Yeah.
We have so much money.
I think we have a lot of untapped potential in our community, and once we stop selling drugs, hopefully put that potential into creating businesses, creating jobs for our own people.
Maybe use all that weed that we're growing or receiving from old white boy Billy, and maybe use that for clothes or for lotions or hair care products or pretty much all the other things that you can use it for instead of smoking and getting high.
Yeah, so we need to widen the range of things that we do. And I think we need to
Say it
widen
for me. I see it on your face, pal.
I feel like with that comment, you were kind of demonizing drug use and people who smoke marijuana, which to me, it's no problem with smoking marijuana. That's what you want to do. That's what you should do. It's about priorities. If you can smoke weed and be like, all right, you still paying all your bills, you handling everything, and there's no problem. The only problem comes when people have that addictive personality where it's like, oh, all I want to do is smoke weed, and they don't. Because some people I met like that, where they just want to smoke, they don't want to go out, they don't want to enjoy anything. They gotta be out, like they can't do anything without being high. All they want to do is sit around. Like to me, that's a personality thing. Like it's an addiction.
My purpose in making that statement wasn't to actually demonize people that smoke weed. It was to simply state that there are better ways of actually using that and actually to profit instead of just trying to sell it.
Who was the caller?
Well, I don't know.
Sorry, that was me.
Why?
There wasn't a caller, but don't forget to call us at 334-5. Wake your punk ass up. If you didn't get that, it's 334-569-9728.
Say it one more
And you can
time.
keep communicating with us at the hashtag M Media. So it's M and then another M Media. Sorry, y'all. And then hashtag WIPAE. Wake your punk ass up. We'll be checking our Twitter accounts, our Instagram accounts, and the phone. You can also text us.
But I was gonna say, like, I have heard people say, like, oh, instead of spending all that money, you mean you could just spend, you could spend it on weed, but you could spend it on, you could have $1 million if you saved all that money. Like, not, you know, to me per se, but my question to those people who say things like that to people who spend their money on weed is, where's your $1 million? You feel me?
Yeah.
You don't smoke weed, you feel me? And you in the same position I'm at. So if anything, could it be said that that person who is smoking weed living better than you because they have enough money to smoke weed and take care of their priorities? Has it, you know what I mean? Think about it, because to be a productive and functioning person who smokes weed, you have to manage your time, you have to manage your money, you get the munchies so you're healthy, you know what I mean? There are a lot of different things that you can do with that.
Wait the fuck up.
Okay, but let's talk about health though.
But what are you eating apples and shit when you get the munchies?
I mean, but okay, let's think about it.
I
mean, I'm not me, but think about that though. If you had a bunch of kids that smoking weed, would you prefer them to eat chips or would you prefer them to eat apples? I just finessed that whole argument. I don't know.
So they gonna eat an apple?
No, what I'm saying is that there are health benefits to marijuana, for one. And a lot of those health benefits are to diseases and illnesses that African Americans are number one for. For example, black women and breast cancer, right? We're number one for that. Marijuana can kind of help, you know, with the pain and different things like that. It's a more natural method of doing it. And so part of like a lot of, even with Rastafarianism, when you look at different religions and different cultures that incorporate smoking weed, they don't smoke weed recreationally. They're not just burn out losers, you know what I'm saying? They smoke weed as a spiritual thing. And then to take it even further, when you have the Rastafarians, they don't eat anything but alkaline food. So when you talk about the different illnesses that affect our communities, people who partake in these lifestyles don't even have these issues because they live a lifestyle totally separate from people who tend to, because if you really look at it, a lot of the people who say they don't like marijuana and don't like cannabis often are okay with drinking. They don't see nothing wrong with that. So you're okay with killing your liver and killing yourself, but if I'm doing something over here and it's promoting a healthy lifestyle, you have a problem with that? You see what I'm saying? So now it comes to, you know, well, who has the right to blame who? What sin is worse, you know what I'm saying? What vice is worse than what other
My
vice?
question is, so you're saying the intention matters? So if somebody's just smoking weed and they're just doing whatever, are you saying they're a different person than the Rastafarians that are smoking for a spiritual reason?
I don't care if you smoke weed because you want to, or if you got an illness that you need to heal. I don't care. You know, you can smoke it if you would like.
If you
I mean,
if you please.
Like, what's the difference between that and a cigarette? You feel me? People are allowed to smoke cigarettes in public, and that kills everybody.
Cigarettes are way worse.
Very true. No, that's what I'm saying.
But they're allowed, and people are more okay with
that.
that.
Alcohol, you got cigarettes, certain foods killing us. We're concerned about weed, which, like I said in the very beginning of the show, it's never killed anybody.
Well, we already know why weed's not legal and tobacco is legal. It's because they've already found a way to profitize off of tobacco, and it's easily being sold, and everybody's buying it up and killing themselves.
It goes back to
like y'all really just don't know like what legalizing weed and hemp would truly do to every industry. Like you got like medicines and pills and stuff. You can do that. You got clothing.
Sustainability. When you're talking about the methods in which we produce, you're talking about saving the world. You're talking about people on other sides of the world who are starving. Climate change. These things are very real. And cannabis legalization has the ability to solve a lot of these problems. You know, realistically, just speak. It's practical. And then when you look at the history of it, like, cannabis was only downplayed. The industrial hemp industry was only downplayed by the paper industry because they wanted their commodity. It was marketing. It was simple marketing and propaganda that made one demonized and the other one okay. And now, because we like to use paper for everything, we have deforestation in the Amazon. You have climate change. You have way less land to feed way more people. These are very real problems. And so even moving forward, I was going to ask you guys a question, just tossing this out there, you know, and kind of to, you know, looking forward with, you know, these next 4 years with the Trump administration, when you have someone with like Jeff Sessions, and our generation is so into Black Lives Matter and so into social justice, you know, and police brutality. Why are we getting harassed in the first place? You know what I mean? It's over something like weed. Because they assume you have weed on you. You feel me? Because a lot of people our age would probably have weed on them. So just because you're that age and you look the way you look. So my question to you is, where do you see America going realistically? Understanding the context that we're in with our generation. Because we not going. You know what I'm saying? I mean, just how do you think the climate of America is going to change when it deals with weed in the black community?
I truly believe weed is going to become $1 billion industry. The people who aren't going to be profiting off of it is us. All I'm saying is I want that profit to come to us. That's all. I don't want the white man to profit off of another thing. Mm-hmm. That's all.
I think that requires, although it would take on the local level for us to come together as a group and put someone forward that would, speak on our behalf in the higher, courts of law, but I think that would take a president or a House, a Senate that would actually, think on the same level that we're thinking in this room right now. And I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon because we just voted in Donald J. Trump. That just happened. That literally just happened, and I don't believe that he was. I don't believe he was a president that I guess is this forward-thinking human being that's like, let's legalize a lifestyle that they believe is prosperous or a lifestyle that's okay for them. And if they demonize marijuana in their lifestyle, that's okay because it puts them in a light of the world that the way the world thinks of them right now is they don't smoke weed. Probably they might be a better person rather than the guy they see smoking on the corner and it's weed and they pass by them like, wow,
it's the history and propaganda of it, like, because during the whole war on drugs era, like, you had all that negative propaganda that was out, all the demonizing and stuff, and so when, like, that generation that crime really taking over now, where they're in the Senate and stuff like that, House of Representatives, that's what they grew up with, and a lot of times change is hard. People don't want to accept the fact, but because I feel like this younger generation is coming up and we have the internet in our hands and we have all this access to information, and I feel like we're kind of more open-minded. We can receive the facts and make better judgments.
We have another message.
Got a message.
All right, so I'm gonna read it. I am from the LA area, and
no, it's from earlier. She got another.
She got another.
Oh, it's the same person?
Yeah, okay, sorry, I forgot.
Oh, yeah. Okay, sorry. I forgot to say my name. I'm Christina, and one more question. I know that drugs were bought from the outside in to destroy our community from the inside out. Ooh, nice lingo there. But but when we try to take drugs out, it is like an impossible task. So how would we take the drugs out? Like, whenever you take something, you have to replace it. So what are we replacing it with?
That is a bomb.
Bang.
Babes.
I think what Aziz was saying. Yeah, because I feel like if black people are able to own everything that the white man owns, you don't have to own all the United States of America, but in your community, if you can own 3 blocks, you know what I'm saying, it's everything, then you can be happy. There's everything that is needed in a civilization there, then you can be happy, especially if it's your people doing it, then your people gonna look out for your people. There's no reason to be depressed if that's why you're using them, and there's no reason for you to go out and make money if there's plenty of opportunities right there.
Wait, but her question was like, how do you get the drugs out? Is that possible? You can't just take drugs out of the equation altogether.
But what we can't talking about just redirecting the use of them or using them for different things. I think maybe not take them out, but maybe redirect how.
That'd be like a war on drugs, but for real this time.
Yeah, we can't just take them out. So,
I think rehab programs if more rehab programs were located in our neighborhoods and affordable price, then that could be a way for people to not smoke.
we got hard drugs.
Hard drugs. Yeah.
But what about weed?
I don't think.
Why do you need rehab for weed? Weed
Why
isn't
does
something that makes you sell your
I don't think
kids.
there's nothing wrong with weed.
I was just saying, I thought we were talking about.
Christina, are you talking about what type of drugs you talking about, girl? Let us know.
Yeah, because a key part of her question is what role does drugs play in our community? Because
I had a better question. Like, I feel like it's not the drugs that we need.
get rid of is the power it has over us.
Ooh.
That we
Because we keep thinking we need to sell that drugs to get the money.
Yeah,
and that's it.
exactly.
So I guess
Yeah,
it would
why are we
take.
doing it?
I guess we
That's
have to
what I'm
place
saying.
people like
That's
us
getting into
in
mental
these
health.
communities to actually put these ideas into place and not take away, all the business and all that. Because if we go in with our business and we're successful and we show that people don't need drugs, that drug dealer no longer has any more money. Like he's gone. He's back to zero. And so he then has to find another way to side hustle, unless we find a way to actually, convince him to do something better.
But I also think that we got a call.
We have a message.
We got another text. Everyone loves texting. Like everyone's texting.
It's so much more convenient though.
You'll warm up to us.
All right, so this is from Amari Dean from Milledgeville, Georgia. So I am a firm believer that black people tend to think alcohol is an exception to drugs that the black community abuses. Alcoholism is one of the main reasons behind death and physical abuse.
Ooh.
Do you feel that blacks instill alcohol usage into kids, even college students, way too early? And do you think it is appropriate for parents to give alcohol to their kids before they are 21 because they want to teach them how to use alcohol? I disagree with teaching anyone how to use drugs.
I think
That's true.
Well,
Alcohol
first
is
off,
a
thank
drug.
you to that
Thank you,
texter.
Amari.
What do you call
Thank
it?
you, Amari.
that's a in between because I do think teaching your child is a good way for them to use it responsibly. But alcohol does affect you. It does have the potential to kill you. So.
That's what I'm saying. It's just like, I feel like if you're introducing them to something so detrimental at such an early age, even developmental stages and ages, your brain is still growing.
Yeah.
I'm
Can
also a firm believer of, what she was talking about in here. She said she doesn't agree with, teaching kids how to use drugs or calling alcohol drugs and whatnot to make a comparison. I believe that you should introduce your children to alcohol, maybe not at a young age, but at least before they get to college, before they're away from you, before they're able to make these life-changing decisions. And once they get there, there's no way of going back. Because when I came to college, I'd never drank before. I'd never gotten drunk. I come here, and it's just everywhere. You can just get it anywhere. And honestly, I guess beforehand, maybe if I'd have tried it, I might not have liked it. Who knows?
I want to say something on this. I think that's actually part of the reason drugs are so demonized, because people seem to confuse teaching someone how to use how to control it with enabling them and allowing them to use it, but like encouraging them. Look at there was a case in Georgia where they had a high HIV rate, they had a high needle-induced needle-induced diseases, right? So they introduced this needle exchange program. People opposed it. They said, "Oh, you're just enabling and encouraging people to use the drugs that are usually used with needles, like heroin and all that other stuff." But it worked. STD rates went down, at least from usage of needles. So it helped protect the people. And
you're teaching them how to use it.
We're teaching them. It's still sad to see them using these drugs, but we would rather. Would you rather have them safe using them? Would you rather keep them alive while using them, or just let them die off? Because there's also places where you can just go in, use the drugs, and they will watch you and make sure you don't pass out or die, or basically they'll be right there with medical attention if you need it.
It's like, y'all ever seen The Wire?
Oh yes, I remember.
Yeah, Amsterdam, when they created they created a whole part in Baltimore, it's fictional, but they created a whole little section in Baltimore where you come here, drugs are legal pretty much, and that is a very controversial thing, but it's interesting because it's like, if you give people a better way to do things, so much you make the best out of a bad situation.
I mean, well, realistically, you're not going to stop people from using drugs, because there's always going to be something in someone's life or a person's life that they feel is going to be hard. It's just, I mean, even in a pharmaceutical world that we live in a world where we're kind of bred to depend on drugs. You have a headache, pop a Tylenol. You got a headache, pop a Advil. You know what I'm saying? It's constantly on TV. So if you watch TV, you're being bombarded with different medicines. So if you have some of these ailments, you may not really be sick, but you're like, oh shit, my back be hurting. Oh shit, I have shortness of breath. I might have this. I need to talk to my doctor. And then what a lot of people don't know is some of your doctors are in the pockets of some of these pills. You know what I'm saying? They're being paid to endorse and enforce these pills or to prescribe. Thank you. That was the word I was looking for. To prescribe these drugs to you. So really, you know, if you can't even trust your doctor.
Yeah, but it's like, you know, even with like chemotherapy, some doctors are paid to give out chemotherapy regardless of
the side effects.
Yeah.
It's so many side effects in most of this medicine.
Exactly. So there, like, more people are okay with, you know, just letting you be sick and, you know, possibly, you know, shitting your heart out your ass and being okay with that because you had a stomach ache that just wouldn't go away.
Oh, that's
well, part of your problem is maybe you should stop eating hamburgers, you know what I'm saying? Stop living off McDonald's, you feel me?
Yeah.
There's different things like that. Like, we don't teach, and part of what Josh was just talking about was preventative measures. We don't teach that. Part of preventative measures is teaching, like, hey, if you're going to have sex, this is how you do it. This is how you use a condom. This is how you do this. This is how you do that. You're going to do drugs. This is how you do it. Because there's nothing scarier than being in a situation where someone is doing drugs and then they find themselves in the alley. You're a college student or you're a college girl and you smoke some lace weed. Now you know what I'm saying? Now you get raped. You know what I'm saying? It can get there just because you didn't know what we were supposed to look like, you know what I'm saying? Just because you didn't understand what was going on around you. So being aware, I think, can save lives, definitely.
Okay, so we have to teach we have to give these children alcohol.
We don't have to give it to them. We
No,
need to give them the
I
information.
I think you do
act
have
like
to.
the world is,
If you don't, society will.
I'm just saying, I think it depends on the
I
person.
wasn't giving drugs, and I wasn't around drugs or
That's
alcohol or anything before I got here. But my parents raised me in such a way where
Right.
you know what I mean,
Right.
such an upbringing. They raised me in such a way where I know I'm about to just take a drink from somebody that takes because I'm not fucking dumb.
Yeah.
Take a weed from somebody.
It's definitely not. It's not a parent's job to actually give their children alcohol or to give your kid, you know, a puff of weed. But it's definitely your job to tell them, you know, there's between right and wrong, what they should do should they come upon a situation where it's presented. So
I agree, but I was just saying what you said earlier. You were like, if your parents had exposed, like giving you.
Yeah, like my dad at one point gave me, let me try a little bit of his chewing tobacco. It was absolutely terrible. And to this day, I will never do it again.
It's terrible.
It was absolutely terrible. I did it the next day.
You're saying that if they gave you alcohol, you probably wouldn't touch it.
I'm not.
But see, that's interesting to me because I've never had alcohol ever.
We can change that.
I'm just saying, like.
Tuskegee gonna change
like,
that.
it wasn't encouraged. You know, I was raised certain, whatever the case may be, but I also had a lot of alcoholics in my family. I was exposed to that, so it never really made me.
You were taught by proxy because you got to see the effects of it.
Right.
Yeah, but it's like, I think you do have to teach, but it's not like it's a survival thing. Like, you know, as society changes, like it will always be that you have to teach the young generation, the new people coming up, how to survive in this society. You know, before it would have been teach them how to hunt and, you know, what to look for in different kind of plants that you harvest and da-da-da. Now it's how to survive in this social environment that we have where all the drugs and all that, and teach them what's what and just showing them the ropes.
That's real. I don't know. I think, you know, the way you choose to teach your kids is the way you choose to teach your kids. Like, but I feel like no matter what, your kids are gonna learn about it. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like I would much rather teach my kids. I would rather be the one to expose my kids. Like if I have a daughter, that's some boy, you know what I'm saying, in the car on our first date or something like that. Cause you like him or something. You know what I'm saying? You don't know. Like that's the reality. You don't know. Like
they gonna get it from somewhere.
Teach them how? Like giving them alcohol?
I mean,
they go.
Well, my mother let me taste alcohol because I knew what it tasted like. I wanted to know. You feel me? Like when I saw it, you know, when I saw my parents drink it, they looked like they was having fun. So I knew when I could do it, I was gonna do it, whether it tasted good or not. But my mother told me like, okay, this is this, because if you don't learn about it, it's a certain way you're supposed to drink. You feel me? When the first time you get really, really drunk should not be in public like that. it should be in an enclosed space with people you care about. You feel me? If you're gonna do it, that's my thing. Because now, what if you go out to a bar you never drank before in your life, and now you're drinking and you don't know your limit? You taking shots of Hennessy. It's nasty, but what you don't know is it's a delayed effect. You don't know how long it takes to hit you, and now you out in the middle of Montgomery drunk as hell with nowhere to go. What are you gonna do? Like,
I feel like there's a story behind that.
well, you got common sense.
Yeah,
Some people.
I'm not gonna just keep throwing it back. Obviously, some shit gonna happen.
Parties get out of control, man.
True. It's like think about it like this. Okay, what involving alcohol did you see when you grew up? Do you have any alcoholics in your family? Have you seen on TV? Like, you know.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've seen alcohol before. But I'm staying with my family. They never really sat down like, okay.
But it's like they don't have to sit down, but
You learn by watching them. You feel me? When they sit down and do it, that's you sitting down with them and observing and learning how things
My
go.
parents never drank it.
Oh, well, see, you just loved like that. I don't know. That's how your parents chose to, you know what I'm saying?
My parents, my parents needed it. So,
yeah, like my mama, my mama was from Harlem. Like, what? I'm going to drink.
That's what my dad's from.
Oh, well, okay. And my daddy from Chicago. My daddy don't drink at all. Like, my daddy don't drink at all.
Your parents
no, we not. Yeah, don't touch me. Nah, but I just think to each his own. You know what I'm saying? To each his own.
Some lessons you have to learn on your own.
Right.
Oh, incoming call.
Yeah, hold up. I got it on here.
Pass the phone.
Someone pick up the phone.
Hello?
Hello.
Ooh, hi.
Hi, this is Amardine calling. I'm calling because y'all answered my message that I sent.
Oh.
Okay, what's happening?
So, first, I would like to say that I was raised with basically two different parents.
Okay.
My father did not drink or smoke any drugs at all. And my mother was kind of a heavy drinker, because that's what she was raised to do. It was like in her side of the family, I have a long line of alcoholics in my family. I have seen a lot of my family members die because of something that was involved with alcohol, or they have instilled into my cousins and people my age that this is okay to do. And I get what you guys are saying that you should tell your child this is what you're about to be faced with. These are the things that you are about to see and be a while. But I feel like it's another thing to actually say, oh, here, take this shot. Or, oh, here, drink this alcohol.
That's different.
Because that's how my family is trying to teach me. But I'm more so like my father in a way. I don't feel like I need to drink or do any type of drugs. But the thing that I feel like is facing our community is that everything is handed to us, and whether this is what you want us to be accept it. And I feel like it should for us. This is what's going to be around you. So you need to come up with a plan to make you not get involved in the activities that I feel like weren't meant for black people. In my opinion, I don't feel like most of the drugs that black people do were made to be used by black people. I feel like they were drugs made to be used by white people, white kids, white adults. And I feel like that's the reason why we get mixed up into the drugs. Because instead of, like you say, we should benefit from it and be like, okay, we're not supposed to use these drugs. So then they use us to get us. How about we try to make this legal? And we try to sell and we try to get business loans. So, and one thing I will say, we don't mess with our money. We don't. So if we start selling it and actually being serious about the profit that we're trying to make with it, then you will watch a lot of people stop using it in the black community.
So basically, boss up on your drug game, shawty. Like, if you're gonna do it right. That's real.
Basically.
That's real.
I found that Isaiah Rashad.
Thank you for calling. That was some deep stuff.
We appreciate you because you've been involved all night, girl. You've been involved all night.
Appreciate it.
She said, right, you is loyal.
You smart. You loyal.
You important.
Nah, I did find that Isaiah Rashad.
Okay, drop some lyrics. Basically, he's like, I've been on pills since a little one. Start with that and be gonna give you love.
thought we
You
just
didn't
smoke.
start?
No, it's just like, you know,
Yeah,
it's bit by
because-
bit. Like, we're introduced to it, and then, you know, comes the harder stuff.
It is a drug, and he wants
Yeah.
to take a food.
Yeah, I do used to pop them up, like.
So
Nah, these
Yeah.
Walgreens cherry flavored painkillers, boy, it was good. I just wanted to them just so I could take it. No lie.
Right.
No lie. But I don't pop
That's
no
it.
pills now, yeah.
So, any final thoughts on drugs in the black community? If
we
you
have
guys-
a text
One more
message.
message.
Oh, y'all moving.
So y'all 3 more days. All right. Hey guys, my name is Manaya Alexander from Charlotte, North Carolina. I hope I said that right.
Okay, government name.
I just have a comment about drugs in the black community. There's studies to show that white people are actually more likely to both sell and use drugs in America than blacks. But if asked, any random person to describe what a drug dealer looks like, do you think they would look like Trayvon Martin or Nick Jonas? So not only do we have to deal with drugs, oh crap. No,
That's a new one. That's a new one.
Oh my God, Jesus.
Too many messages
Ah!
coming in.
Okay,
We love it. We
So
love
not only
it.
do we have to deal with drugs affecting our health
Like
and killing
him.
us off with all that it's laced with, but we also have to deal with the fact that we are stereotyped with the stigma that only black people use and sell drugs. There's another one.
Thank you.
It's a different person. I don't know who this is. I feel like at the end of the day, the way we handle the problem is, like you guys said, is proper education, but also blacks need more opportunities and options as well. If you look around the lower income community, you see the corner store next to the liquor store, next to the Burger King, next to an abandoned building. We need more opportunities for lower income communities to be exposed to what else the world has to offer. And I think that starts with education. If people are educated properly on what is right and wrong, we can make better choices and people can better themselves in their situation.
Damn. I think that's a hell of a close. Right?
All right, thank y'all so much for the love, for calling in. We appreciate you.
First show
Nah,
back
hold
in
on,
a
one
while,
second,
and it
one
was
second.
wildly successful.
Can y'all call in next time? Y'all got some beautiful voices.
Alright, sorry.
But feel free to text us.
I don't
I know
like
you're trying to get
hearing
your
Josh's
thoughts
voice
together and you write them down and everything. So we appreciate you calling. We appreciate you texting.
Right.
You having it okay? We appreciate you calling. Appreciate you texting.
Please come back next week.
Please come back next week.
We gonna be here. We
Same
gonna be
time.
here at the
Same black time, same black place.
We
We're gonna be
appreciate
here
you.
live in
Hold on, what we
Your
talking
black
about
is
next
beautiful.
week, y'all? What we talking about next
We're
week?
gonna put a poll on Twitter to test the app for you all to vote to see what we're gonna talk about next week.
Right.
So,
No, we
What are
already
we talking about next?
we already
What's
decided.
that Twitter name, Aziza? Let the people know.
Melanination.
Let them
Melanination.
At
At Melanination.
Right, right.
At Melanination. So,
Alrighty, yeah.
good
Yeah,
night,
be sure
everyone.
to tune in and talk to Hunter Sweat on the 334.
Oh, wait a minute.
Go punk ass up.
Oh, it's been
oh,
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay.
also-
Yeah, she said I just said her name right. Thanks for the
Thank you.
confirmation.
What's her name again? Shout her out.
Manaya
Manaya.
Alexander from
Manaya
North Carolina.
Alexander.
Don't be dropping
Manaya.
Oh, it was Bryce. Bryce Outen. That was the message that I didn't know who it was. Bryce
shout out to
Outen.
Bryce.
Hey,
You was
Thanks,
just-
bro.
You already know what
Shout out
it
to
is.
T.
Hey
we
Bryce,
were-
spell corner right.
We were also.
Get out the right
Come
side.
on now.
Because I know him. I know him. He's my friend.
That's what we here for.
Thank you.
Get off
But
the
no,
right side, bro.
everybody, we would also like to let you know our website is in the works, so be on the lookout for that.
We up and coming.
That's
Y'all
what we
don't
talking
know.
about next week, y'all.
Y'all don't know.
Support-
Y'all gonna
Hell
see.
yeah.
Talk about
history,
sex,
right. Let's talk about you and me. Psych, we talk about the history of STDs.
We're all talking about sex.
Hey, either way,
That's
someone
another
can fuck.
word.
Oh,
Either way.
see y'all next week.
Hey, that been popping.
Wake your punk